Hey everyone, good morning. This is Colin at Black Dog Outdoor Sports, and we are doing another video on the continuation of the 10 essentials for survival, and this topic is first aid. So first aid is extremely important because, well, it's when someone is injured, hurt, doesn't feel well, or is near death, that our training, practice, and equipment can come into play. So first aid training starts with gaining some knowledge. You can gain that knowledge through taking classes, CPR courses, first aid, wilderness first aid, etc. Books are a fantastic way to gain knowledge. This is one of my absolute favorite books here. So we sell these books. This is Medicine for Mountaineering. It covers many topics, a lot of which can be used in front country medicine, also backcountry medicine. This is another book that's fabulous. This is the Knowles, the National Outdoor Leadership School Wilderness Medicine Guide. This is essentially the same as a wilderness first responder course, which I used to teach for a company out in New Hampshire. Phenomenal training, absolutely phenomenal. So look into getting some further education and training, get a CPR certificate, and then be prepared. So as far as first aid gear goes, there are so many prefabricated first aid kits out there. Which one's the best? It really depends on what your needs are, where you're going, and how many people are going to be in your group. So I think there's a degree of we need to have multiple types of first aid kits depending on, again, activity and personnel. So if I was going to have one first aid kit at home, it would be the biggest, baddest, sweetest first aid kit that I could get because I only have one. In that kit, I'm going to have all sorts of things, starting from small, minor cuts and scrapes all the way up to mass trauma. If I'm going to be out in the backcountry, I don't have the means to carry all that stuff with me, so I have to prioritize what's most likely going to happen and then prepare for that. If I am in a vehicle, I'm going to have some sort of a split in between, because while we're on the road, you never know what you could come upon. An traffic accident, a pedestrian injury, we ourselves may end up hurt doing something that we're out there in the world doing. So having, again, these three sizes of kits with a degree of material inside and then knowing how to use them is critical. So just to cover on a couple things, if it's me, I want the very first and most important thing is going to be a BSI, body substance isolation. That's going to be a protection from your warm, wet, and gooey stuff from getting near or inside of my warm, wet, and gooey stuff. So that's blood, saliva, spit, puke, whatever it may be. I don't want that on or inside of me. So I'm going to wear gloves, I'm going to wear glasses. So most of the time, your regular sunglasses, awesome. Rubber gloves, latex gloves, fantastic. I always have like a shooting type glove or a mountain biking glove, in my vehicle all the time. So putting on your rubber glove and then putting on that extra durable layer over the top is going to be an extra measure to prevent sharp things from coming through your glove and getting inside of you. So BSI is number one. And then we want to have something to stop bleeding. So that's going to be one of the other major things, other than not breathing, that are going to make people pass away quickly. So means to stop bleeding are going to be tourniquets, and only use a tourniquet if you've been practicing and you've taken some training courses on how to apply a tourniquet, how long, etc. Really critical. There's a product called Quick Clot. So Quick Clot is kind of they made a powder now. It's like an impregnated gauze. This is fantastic. Comes in a couple different packaging styles, but essentially it reacts with liquid or blood and it creates a clot. So it prevents further blood loss. You have to get it deep inside of that wound so that it has a chance to relax at a capillary level so that we can indeed reduce bleeding. Pretty gross to think about, but realistically an amazing thing. So Quick Clot, there's a couple other brands that make something similar. Trauma Gauze is something also made, I believe, by the same company. Really nice. So another thing that we could have is going to be a prefabricated boo-boo kit. So there's a bunch of these on the market. This has gauze, gloves, bandages, tape, all sorts of really cool stuff in it. And it doesn't cost much and it's not very large. So having something like this in your backpack is outstanding. So this is going to be another style of kit that I'm going to have while I'm at the range or I'm in the field hunting. This is a trauma kit. So this is going to be for big boo-boos, big scrapes, bullet wounds, etc. This has the Quick Clot inside. This has a lot of gauze, a lot of gloves. These are fantastic. They're waterproof. You can throw them in a pocket. They last for a long time. Really sharp. And then you have a prefabricated kit of different degrees and sizes. We even have one here for dogs and cats, which is pretty cool if you're in the backcountry with your animals. Big first aid kits, 1 to 4, 1 to 2, 4 to 6, whatever it may be. Look at getting a prefab kit. So once you have that prefab kit, open it up, look at it, see what's there. A lot of times they come with a bunch of junk you don't need. Get rid of it. add the things that you do need. In my humble opinion, more gloves, band-aids, and then gauze pads and tape are going to be the big things that I'm going to add to all this. So if you've got questions about first aid, if you need a recommendation as to where to go and get first aid training, by all means, stop by and see us here. We have what you need. Keep your lines tight and shoot straight.